Hello and welcome back to Flow Yoga. We're in the studio with Jesse Enright. Jesse?
Thank you, Jason. So we briefly went over the ideas of using gravity, finding springiness, breath, and alignment. So this is all theory now. Now it's time to put it to the test. And we'll start with Sun Salutation A. So when we start to move, let's bring the arms to the side. And let's take one breath with the arms at the side. A deep inhale, feeling the balloon of the rib cage, exhaling slowly. With the next inhale, let's slowly turn the palms up and lift the arms. Now we don't have to shrug. You can lift the arms by reaching from the waist. Hands touch lightly, and as we exhale, let's fold. And instead of rounding the back, let's take the pelvis and rotate it forward. Let's let the domes of the hands connect to the floor, and as we inhale, let's lengthen for a moment to the fingertips, feeling strength in the lower back. Let's find those dome hands, those strong hands. Let's lean, and we can step, or if we wanted to, we could hop back. We're going to hold upward push-up position or plank for one inhale, and you can always bring your knees down if you feel weak here. And as we exhale, I'm going to bring us down to our belly for a couple of breaths. So slowly lower down, chest forward, elbows wrapping inwards. So what we're about to do is upward facing dog. It's one of the most challenging poses that we find in a power yoga class. The challenge will be that as we come up, that the lower back will collapse. So what I want us to do here on the floor is lift the belly and roll the pelvis, lengthening the lower back. So stay down on your belly, lift the belly up, and yeah, you could call it tucking the tail if you wanted to, this action. As you roll the pelvis and lengthen your lower back, begin to squeeze the elbows in and begin now to wake up the upper back muscles by lifting the chest without using the hands. In fact, for a moment here, let's lift the hands off the floor. Feet are pointed. As we exhale, let's bring the hands back down. Let's lean against these pointed toes. And with our next inhale, let's very gently begin to glide the chest forward and up. And we won't force the movement. We'll keep the belly lifting to protect our lower spine. And as we exhale, let's bring our knees down to the floor. Let's go slowly into a downward dog. We'll curl the toes under, feet hip width apart. And we'll slowly, with bent knees, feed the bum or the sitting bones back and up. Feeling that lifting action back and up to the sit bones. We're going to hang out here for about 5 breaths. So downward facing dog, basic posture you'll find in almost every style of hatha yoga, physical yoga practice. But because it's basic doesn't mean it's easy. In fact, I almost never feel like I get everything I'm looking for. I start with breath always. That's my priority. I move to the way in which my body is connecting to gravity, and that is my hands. Bearing weight with the hands that we found at first is difficult, so we'll come back to the gripping quality, slight leaning quality in the fingers and those pads in the hands. I'm going to bring your awareness for your last breath to your shoulders. Most of us shrug. In fact, a lot of people come to yoga for tension between their neck and shoulders in this area. We're going to fix that next time in downward dog. At the end of this exhale, let's shift weight back, bending the knees, and then let's look forward and let's step, or if we really wanted to, we could hop back to the front. Our big toes are together, our heels are slightly apart, and we're going to lengthen as we inhale and exhale, fold. Let the head have some weight for a moment. As we inhale, let's lean to the feet and turn the palms coming up. And as we reach again, we can keep an open quality through the shoulders. Exhale, back where we started. Let's do that again. Inhale, turn the palms and reach up. And although we're looking up, the neck feels long, spacious. And as we exhale, rather than round the back, which would be easy, we're going to bend the knees and move the pelvis. Again, as we inhale, instead of jamming the neck, let's try to send our lower spine inwards, opening the hips, and let's lean into these strong hands, creating weight there, making the feet light. Back to upward push-up. I want to hold here for one inhale. It's an extra step I stick in, and if you want to make it challenging, you can bend the elbows a bit. Then as we exhale, we'll lower slowly right to the belly again. Just a small period of time here, maybe one breath. Hands by bottom ribs, point the feet, lift the belly. Now we know the danger here as we inhale, slowly begin to glide the chest forward and up, would be that the back would collapse. But if the belly is strong, we can prevent that. And as we exhale again to our friend downward dog. We spend a lot of time in downward facing dog. Now I always remind my students that if they lose their smile or their breath, that they should take a break. So what the smile is a softening, a relaxing of the face. In every pose, if we lift the corners of the mouth just a tiny bit, it doesn't really look like a big grin. Just softens any tension in the eyes or the jaw. The breath is even, big inhales, slow exhales, and the tendency in downward facing dog is to collapse in that weak area that we saw in standing through the lower front rib cage. It's often an easy analogy of a pony ride, right? Someone's been giving pony rides for too long in their back. So I ask their lower front ribs now to lift in and up for strength. Take one more big inhale and start to become aware of the tension in the shoulders. With your last exhale, start to find the dome of the armpit, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. At the end of this exhalation, weight shifts back and then comes forward, hopping or stepping to the front. Big toes together. Inhale, exhale completely. With the next inhale, let's come all the way up. And as we reach, let's try not to lean the ribs back. Let's try to keep the rib cage even. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale, turn the palms and reach up. Lower front ribs in. As you exhale, we'll do the difficult job of moving the pelvis rather than rounding the lower back. As we inhale here again, we'll do another difficult job bringing the lower spine in, lengthening the spine. Exhale, finding strong hands, and eventually there's a floating quality as we go back. Let's hold here again for one inhale, and exhale, slowly lower one more time right to the belly. This time quickly we'll point the feet, lift the belly, open the chest. We found that structure, we found the support. And as we come up, we're not going to force the neck back, we're going to lengthen. And as we exhale, again, our favorite pose, downward facing dog. So finding the breath here. So I want to fix this quality of compression and tension in the shoulder. My teacher talks about domes within the armpits. And when you see that happen, it makes sense. You can see the space in the shoulder girdle. But I needed more specifics. I'm a slow learner. So I had to be told, like I said last time, to lift my lower front ribs. I also had to be told to turn my arms. A rotation I'm going to call cat elbows later, and you'll see why. As we turn Jason's arms in this way, we can see his shoulders start to release. I could give him a massage here, and he looks nice and strong in his core. Once you take one more breath, we haven't really focused on the hips, but we're looking for a lift in the sitting bones and the tail as the heels descend. Let's let weight go back, and let's bring ourselves back to the front. Hop or step again. Inhale for length. Exhale to fold. Leaning into the feet. Inhale, come on up. Exhale. Good.
That feels really good to focus on some real key elements of the practice. So let's keep going.
Okay.
Good.
So again, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding, letting the pelvis roll forward. So here's where we learn to play with gravity. There's only so much weight in my body. If I take the weight out of the feet and bring it to the hands, I can create that float. Beautiful, yeah. And play with that here too. Hands are strong and heavy, core starts to work, and then we exhale. Coming this time, half or all the way down, finding what you need, and then inhaling, upward dog. Now I lift my knees, but I work not to tense my bum. And then exhale slowly, downward facing dog.
Okay, so we're going to continue to work on the alignment, especially with our downward facing dogs, and we'll be right back after this message.